Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday Tirade Entertainment Talk Show with myself and the amazing Tom Connors over here.
Where?
You.
Huge fan.
No, I'm a huge fan of you. Amazing group of humans already waiting here for us, and I know the show grows as we get going. We kind of have a little bit to talk about. It's kind of some fun stuff, but really only one major thing to talk about. And of course, it's about the box office, but we'll get into that in just a second. Say hi to everybody. We got Captain Trek hanging out with us, one-man show, the Basco scenario. In fact, that's our buddy Yaskar, doing pretty good. Six is here. Hello, Six. It's good to see you. I'm not sure I like the lyrics of the song that you've got there, but okay. D-Bud Martin is in the house. Wookiee Supremacy. Yeah, check out Ord's Board, my buddy Ord's. Thank you, Wook. Let's see. We've got Ord's Board. Olivria Nimakara is joining us. Says happy Tuesday, one and all. Happy Tuesday to you, young lady. We have, of course, this man. I am the Neon Cowboy. Okay, Tom. Low Spec Linux laptop. Kai MFS, my buddy there. Hello to everybody and their mom. That's true.
You haven't heard my new song, have you?
No, I can't wait to hear it. My Fractured Butthole for 99 euros. So you get 0.99 euros. I don't know. That's basically $1. So thank you for the super sticker. I don't know what that is. Let's see. The super sticker is. That's a poopy emoji. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for the poopy sticker, I guess. Let's see. Oh, StreamYard's doing it again, Tom. It doesn't like me. I don't know why.
You look fine on my end.
I know. Mr. Dragon. Mr. Dragon says greetings. We got
Mr. Dragon.
We got Bear Dog in the house making noise. So Cat Sith is here. We've got Andrew hanging out with us. Andrew 462. Karen Prime, of course. Mr. Runner is in the chat. And
shut up, Runner.
Yeah, no, we don't do that anymore. He's growing up. He's growing up.
I still tell him to shut up.
All right. Well, Kitty Bear is here as well.
Hey, Kitty Bear.
And Morgan King. All right. Well, we are caught up
Morgan
for now.
King and Six and everybody in the chat.
Yeah. Good to see everybody. Good to see you all.
Sounds like you're dealing with
I am
Bear Dog.
Yeah, I'm wrestling the Bear Dog, trying to get him comfortable again. Thank you about that. Yeah, and Soul Assassin is here. All right, well, let's get back on camera now that I've situated the bear. And let's do that. All right, Tom, anything cool you want to bring up before we get started with the story we're going to cover today and go on from there?
I don't know. Nothing particular.
All right. Commander Ed Straker of Shadow for $2 says, hail and hello, Culture and Tom. Well, hello to you and hail to
Good
you.
afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. I think you're doing just fine, Captain Trek. I wouldn't tell you to shut up, Tom. You going to tell Captain Trek to shut up?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think so. I like Captain Trek.
Runner deserves it.
Yeah, he used to. Yeah. Cody Geist says hail. Hail. You guys are all fun. All right, let's get cracking because we really only have one big thing to talk about. It's many things, but it's one big thing, and it was the box office. And I think we were positive.
But I
about
thought
it.
the theaters were dead.
Well, yeah, they're not. They're not. But weekend estimates. So this is the numbers that came in on the 3rd. The numbers are actually pretty much a little higher than that. The official numbers. We'll get to those in a second. But I've been thrilled. You and I were very optimistic. I think very positive about a couple of these films and how well they would do. Probably, other people would say we were too optimistic. I don't know. I feel somewhat encouraged. Venom, which you saw, right? It gave us the biggest weekend we've had in a long time. 90 plus million. I think 91.1 million or whatever. And No Time to Die and Dune internationally both cracked 100 million. No Time to Die was like what, 117 by the end of the weekend?
I believe so. Yeah, something like that.
Nuts. And Dune has been over 100 million, and you've got, I think you could be cautiously optimistic going forward that if you get a good film, you're going to have, an excellent result at the box office now, because I think people are done with staying away from the box office because the people that are, the theaters, they're just done with that mentality, and they want to get out. They want to do something. I mean, we've seen record numbers for racing, for sporting events, and everything else, and that's something I think you brought up early on.
Others have too, but people are getting out. I mean, I know some people seem to think that theaters are not doing too well, but clearly this weekend proves that's not the case. I mean, we're back to basic numbers almost at this point. You had, even in just the U.S. alone, you had Venom do very well with 90 million. You had Addams Family 2 come in at almost 20 million with 18. Right. And then Shang-Chi brought in another 7. So we're right back to what normal numbers would be for the box office right now. We're not, it's about average for a normal weekend almost. I mean, right. Venom did very, very, very well, though. I can't believe they're not making a bigger deal out of this, because as we pointed out yesterday, I mean, you have, and I'm sure many others have, you have a movie that opened up in the pandemic era 10 million higher than the original film in limited capacity.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
Sony is probably pissed, because this could have been $110 million movie, I bet.
Yeah.
If theaters were completely open and they had all the screens they wanted and shit like that.
Right. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I would have been irritated as well, but this thing is amazing. So yeah, let's just get into it. It says, Venom, Let There Be Carnage set a new pandemic era benchmark this weekend, with Sony Pictures projecting a stellar 90 million opening weekend as of Sunday, easily eclipsing the 80 million debut of Black Widow in July. That number also represents a very solid 7.8 times the movie's.
Oh, and I forgot about the Many Saints too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Many Saints, the Addams Family too. Yeah. A lot of stuff opened. I guess the Addams Family 2 and Many Saints did pretty well. They're doing better than predicted, according to the article here.
Yeah.
No Time to Die is opening with spectacular numbers internationally, as Dune is continuing to plod along. I think Dune's going to be a big film. I really do. Here are the numbers, though. This is a projected weekend box office of 125. Predicted box office is 106.
That's not bad for Addams Family at all. That's actually only roughly 12 million less than it made in the original made in its opening weekend.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, on extremely limited screens in comparison, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I mean, these are the things. I thought that 67 million was underselling Venom. I did not believe 90 was going to be that, right? I didn't think that was where it was going to be at. I'm actually impressed. It's 100.
No, and I see exactly what MGM did here, because they opened the first one up against Joker.
Oh,
see, and that's what they're doing, the counter programming. So they were smart, and that movie ended up making $200 million.
Wow,
for a kids movie, that's not too shabby. Like that, opening up with a lot of competition.
Yeah, and it gave them a lot of room to run. I mean, and that's the other thing. So, what other kids movie is going to be out there in the world?
I don't know what we got coming up here. I think, doesn't Pixar have one on the horizon, or
they do, but I think it's a little later on. So I think Adam's Family 2 will have a little bit of room, right, to run for a bit, you know.
I
And
think
again,
you're right, because I can't think of any other.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at these other box office numbers, and look at this. I mean, first of all, Venom is outpaced everything. Can I ask you a question, Tom?
Sure.
Does this make Venom a triumph?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I was just
In
making
fact,
sure.
Venom will probably be profitable within a matter of a couple of weeks,
Right,
in comparison to Shang-Chi. Because we don't have any solid numbers on Shang-Chi, but what we know is it costs somewhere between 150 and 200 million.
almost every
Venom
time.
cost 110 million. It's doing great. This is just the US that did, like,
These are
what's
just
the
domestic
worldwide
numbers.
what's the worldwide on Venom? I have no idea.
We'll have to drill down, but all I know is that the
It might
box
even be
office,
closer to profit than we think.
yeah. And here's the thing. I mean, the original projection for them was 55.9,
Which was actually a pretty good projection, to be honest with you. I didn't expect it to do this well either.
And I can't believe Many Saints is doing as well as it is, especially with all the bad buzz I heard about it.
I'm more surprised just because it's actually, because isn't it on HBO Max as well? So like
Which?
The Saints movie,
it is. It is. Yeah, it is. That's true.
So I mean, I'm kind of surprised on that film's box office.
There you go.
But I mean, there you go.
So
103 already worldwide. So
yeah, and the only place it opened that I can think of is Russia. I mean, we can look at the details.
And I believe it's also getting a China release as well.
Oh, it is. Yep, it does. It's on the China slate. Absolutely. And so that is going to bump its numbers up substantially.
I think Venom's going to have a hard time not becoming profitable. And I'm still in a few arguments with people over whether or not Shang-Chi is actually in the black, which I don't think it is.
All right. Well, let's take a look at where it opened, because I think it only it doesn't even show you the actual market it opened in, which was Russia. That's where that 13.
Germany, Australia, and United Kingdom.
Yeah, and they haven't opened yet. Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. So yeah, that's not bad at all.
But these are great numbers, right? And let's see.
Look at the box people office. Were just saying video or not video game, but comic book movies are dead. Yeah, this is pretty good numbers.
I was impressed. I mean, really, full financials aren't going to be available on this one yet. Summary. There we go. Ba-bang. Okay. 90 million. So far, 1 week in, it captured 86% of the market share. That's pretty good. It's worldwide box office in relation to its production budget is 0.9 times, because its production budget was 110. So it's almost where the production budget was set.
Yeah.
But okay, so
it has to make 3 times that. But
yeah, if it does 330, we know it's a profitable film. We know it's a profit.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is people are already saying that Shang-Chi is, because it's in that 350 to 75 range. I can't remember where it's at right now, but it ain't never going to crack that 400, and it needs to get to that 400 to even be considered profitable. I know, like I said, I'm in disagreement with a few people, but even on the raw number data that we have, which is nothing, because we don't know exactly what it fucking costs. We don't know what they spent on advertising, and we don't know how much the delay cost them. Well, and I still say that Venom shot themselves in the foot. Sony should have released this 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, they would have.
Fuck Disney.
They would have leaned. Yeah, they would have leaned hard into the Shang-Chi numbers, right? They would have, and that film would have dwindled faster, and you would have ended up with this.
And it would have had more breathing room, because remember what's coming up here. We've got Bond, we've got Halloween, and we've got Dune, all within the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say I'm thinking this film will have decent legs, but it's got a lot of competition. So
that's what I was saying yesterday. That's the problem, is even though it had a bigger opening than the first movie, it's not going to get close to that billion like the first one did. It's going to peter out somewhere probably around 500 or 600 million, because it's got those 3 big movies coming up for competition, and then in November you also have Ghostbusters coming.
Well, the Ghostbusters thing's going to hurt everybody, because that's going to suck up all the oxygen in the room. So, but all this says that if Spider-Man 3 stays in its December 13th slot, doesn't get.
Spider-Man 3 is going to be the biggest movie of the year. I can almost, I'm willing to put money on that.
And you know what? Before I was going to say you're wrong, but now I think I agree with you finally, Tom. This thing's number 2, dude. Number 2 October opening ever.
Yeah.
That means it's second to Joker. Joker's the only other bigger one, right?
Yeah. Well, then not to jump too far ahead, but like I think Blumhouse is shooting himself in the foot by releasing Halloween on Peacock at the same time.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I really do. And I know why he's doing it. I heard his excuse, but I'm like, dude, if you were releasing it 3-4 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But the theaters are open after this weekend. I would not be doing this. I get it. You're trying to help sell Peacock and all that kind of stuff. And you feel bad because Freaky didn't do as well as it should have. Right. But you're going to fucking shoot this movie's box office in the foot.
And that's a bummer because, again, I think we really need to look at the performance of films that are strictly theatrical release, like Free Guy and this film, and obviously No Time to, go see it, and Dune. And you start to see those theatrical releases. The thing that's going to hurt Dune here in the States is it's going to be day and date, which I really, if I were HBO right now, if I were David Zaslav, if I were whoever is running things, if I were Jason Kalara, I'd be like, you know what?
I don't think they can get out of it by now. That's the problem.
Don't think so?
I think they're locked into too many things that are like, and that's why I think it got that 45/30 day release window in other places is because of this whole thing. And again, I think that train was already in motion, but I'm curious if Blumhouse could have pulled at the last minute and decide, because they didn't even announce that until what, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago? I just learned about it.
Yeah, about a week ago, 10 days ago.
Yeah. So like, to me, that just makes zero fucking sense. Because for those who may not remember, Halloween, the last one, did gangbusters. Like, I cannot express how much money that movie made. It made more money than the entire Halloween franchise put together to date, all in one shebang. I mean, not even close. Like, it just outgrossed it. It was crazy. Like, I couldn't even believe how well it did. Like, I was just fucking floored. And what they're doing now is they're leaving millions, possibly even $1 billion on the table.
Yeah, they're killing it. I mean,
because that last one I think did 800 some, I think it was. Yeah,
790, 800.
Fucking insane. Because just so you guys know, I think to this point, like up until that movie came out, the entire Halloween franchise had grossed a grand total of like $300 and some million altogether. Yeah. And so like for that movie to do that and then double and triple it almost is like insane. So like they are I cannot understand why they're doing this, and it didn't cost a lot of money. Like the second one only cost I think 18 million to make. I think it was or it was somewhere between 20 and 30 at the most. Mm-hmm. So this movie's going to make money, but they could have made a hell of a lot more by not putting it on Peacock.
Yes. Well, and that's the other thing is in horror films, guys, for the most part, they don't cost anything to make. They're some of the cheapest fare you can create as a filmmaker, and they're hugely profitable, especially for Blumhouse and others. I don't know, dude. What do you think? I think maybe they leave 300 million on the table for that film.
At least, because it's not going to play as well anyway, right? You already are in a situation where it wasn't going to do as well. And I get that's where you got the idea of, okay, we'll sacrifice it up to Peacock.
Right.
But how much more, like you just said, at least $300 million probably, because this thing's going to end up with like 500 million maybe, because it doesn't have that long of a window to play either. It has 2 basic weeks to play before Halloween drops.
Yep. So
and after that, who's going to give a shit?
Well, I don't know. I think we'll, like I said, I'm hoping that Venom gets longer legs than we think it has, because I think
no, I mean, like Halloween's only got like a 2-week window to play.
Well, I know. Well, they both do. I mean, think about even actually, Venom has less time to play with than Halloween does, so it's bad.
Because Bond is gonna. Let's be real. Bond's gonna trounce this weekend.
Yeah, in the States, it'll do pretty well. And now that we know that it's not quote unquote
as broken as we thought.
Yeah,
it's broken.
Yeah, and then we'll see. But and again, I'm not going to spoil the film for anybody, and it is what it is. But Louvrien says 20 million for Addams Family. That's not bad for a family film. I think it did
not
great.
At all. And I don't think it had a very big budget either. I didn't look at the budget, but I'm
voice acting is what you paid for there.
Well, yeah, it's animated.
And Commander Ed Straker of Shadow says, even here in the land of Governor Nuisance, Chargers Raiders game was fully sold out on Monday night. No one is bowing to the bad news bears, right? Yeah. 6 is like, can someone transcribe what they're saying? You guys are amazing. Larry's in the chat now. Good to see you, Larry. Lots of people joining us. Yeah, Ghostbusters is going to be massive. I think Ghostbusters will beat Spider-Man.
Oh, that's a tall order.
You don't think I'm right? What's weird
I
is they're
would
both
love
Sony, right? They're both Sony releases.
I mean, I would love to be wrong about Ghostbusters and it being this massive hit, but it's going to have a little bit of an uphill battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's going to be, because of the pandemic, you have the taste of the 2016 movie in people's mouths.
Yeah.
Until they start really ramping up the campaign. I know there's still a lot of people who are confused as to what we're getting.
Right.
Like outside of our, circles where we know this is a sequel, there's still people that haven't seen that newer trailer yet, and it hasn't really saturated the market yet for people to realize, oh, the original Ghostbusters are back. Like once that gets out there more, then the movie has more potential. But Spider-Man, I think, is going to be massive.
Huh?
Like you have a situation here where it really was like, oh, you're going to do this with Flashpoint? Well, hold my fucking beer. Because really all Flashpoint has going for it is Michael Keaton, right? Let's be real.
Yeah.
Sure, we get to see Ben Affleck back too, but really the big draw there is Michael Keaton. In Spider-Man, you have Tobey fucking Maguire. You've got all the bad guys coming back. You have a connection to Sam Raimi's upcoming Doctor Strange movie. We're coming off the heat of Venom here. You have a situation where things are really in the perfect place for Spider-Man in this film. Now, I get it. A lot of people aren't as big of a fan of the MCU Spider-Man, but guess what? The second film made what was it, 200-300 million more than the last one. Mm-hmm. So like this one's going to be I guarantee you this is going to be the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time.
Okay. I'm going to take your word for it. I
think so. It's going to beat Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
I tell you what, if that thing crosses $1 billion.
The only thing that's going to stop is if we have some huge outbreak and everything gets shut down.
Now, Sony, let's talk about this. Sony is responsible for releasing this film, Venom. They're responsible for Ghostbusters. They're responsible for the upcoming Spider-Man movie. Sony is having a hell of a year. If you, in contrast,
this is going to be their year.
Yeah. In contrast to Disney and in contrast to Warner.
And then you added that they had a big year last year with Bad Boys.
Yeah. Massive.
They were one of the only ones to have a movie that came out that made money.
Who released Sonic? I don't even remember who that was.
That was Paramount, but that didn't make a shit ton of money. It basically just managed to break even, which was enough. Which was enough to sell some videos and get a sequel.
Yeah.
Now the sequel will probably do better, but no,
way better.
Spider-Man the only thing going against Spider-Man right now is the rest of the world. Like if the rest of the world has a bunch of issues and we shut down and all kinds of crazy crap we don't want to get into, if that happens, that's the only thing that's going to hurt that film's box office. Otherwise, it is going to be fucking huge. It's going to probably make close to Endgame and Infinity War numbers.
Well, they're already trying to soften the ground to tell people that you're not going to be able to get together for the holidays. I think people are done with being told
that's the only thing that's going to get in the way of this whole thing, right? Like that's what I'm saying is like,
but I think a lot of these movie companies, a lot of these corporations are like putting their middle finger up now. I mean, you're gonna have a 50-50 split. Companies that are like, nah, we're good. And you're going to have companies that be like, we're going to.
Well, here's the thing, not to get into too much of that stuff. Yeah. But no, like, let's be real. If a mandate comes down, let's put it that way, all hell's going to break loose anyway. So this is all up in the air right now. Unfortunately, what sucks is some industries are just starting to get back to normal when we're in a position where things are actually even more probably up in the air than they were a year ago. I don't know if you agree with me there, but I know you guys have chats and stuff to get to.
Yeah, I'm going to get to them. And I just wanted to say hi to Stephanie. Louvain looks like she might be venturing towards the theater to see Afterlife. I think a lot of us are going to. I'm looking forward to that. But
it's going to be big. I hope it's bigger than I'm anticipating, but I just...
He talks.
between the way the situation we're in and just the stink of Ghostbusters 2016 they got a lot of hills to get over.
Yeah. I look, a lot of people like Larry. Ghostbusters needs a lot of good word of mouth, and we are. Yeah, I tell you what, that is a film I'm going to see at the preview night. Somehow, I'm going to go see it.
It has to be good. It has to be good.
Yeah. If it is, we'll be in great shape. James Hurley says, "I like the Many Saints of Newark, the Soprano sequel. Some people have. It's gotten kind of mixed reviews,
mostly mixed.
Yeah. So Apex, what's up, my friend? Simon Parkin says, I hope Sony don't release a Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer showing the original cast. Keep that for the release. Yes, I agree.
To a point, you're right, Simon. But like the new trailer they came out with, I hope that's the one they cut down for the TV trailers, because that's what we need. We need the normies to understand that the original cast is coming back. Sure, don't give us everything, but give them a taste. Because I showed my mom the first trailer, and she was confused as fuck. She's like, "Oh, it's a new Ghostbusters." I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Where's the girls?" So like she was expecting a sequel to the one with the girls.
No,
like that's what I'm saying. So you have a bunch of people who are probably going to be very confused by this. That first trailer did not do enough to let people know that we're back in the original world. Now the second trailer did a great job. You had Janine and you had Dan Aykroyd at the end. If you do most of the trailers like that for the television campaign and the internet campaign, you'll be fine.
Well, it sounds like they're headed the right direction, my friend. So I think it's going to be great, and they're going to have people like you and I, if the film is good, talking about how great the film is. So there you are.
Yeah, and like Larry said, after the movie actually releases, they'll probably show the Ghostbusters in every single commercial. Yes,
they'll have to. And hey, think about that. At one point in time, that was the biggest franchise on the planet for like.
Well, it was Sony's. Months. I still think up until Spider-Man 3 anyway, or one of the Spider-Man films at least, Ghostbusters was Sony's highest grossing film.
Yeah.
Until at least the first Spider-Man movie anyway.
Yeah. Apex,
maybe Men in Black beat it. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was Men in Black or Spider-Man, but yeah.
Yeah. Morbius. Man, do we have a new release date for Morbius?
It was January or February last I knew. I think it took that Valentine's Day.
It got pushed, right? Because that's like the fourth push it got.
Let me look. Couple pushes. But there's a reason why I think they're holding that one off more so, because I think it has more connections. It comes out very end of January. So
and I really think we're leaning into the Sinister Six and some other stuff, but I'm not.
I think you're more than on the nose than you think.
All right. T Neil 89 for $2 says, "Hey all, is mead usually this early in the day?"
No, this ain't mead.
Yeah, but no, we're doing it on my channel today.
Sure you're joking.
Yeah. I love
every Tuesday we do this on Culture's channel.
Yeah. That's a good time.
Sometimes Andre drops in, and
sometimes we get Script Doctor, or sometimes we get a special guest. It's always worth it.
By the way, Andre does send his regards. He couldn't make it today though. So.
Oh no, I hope he's doing well, and I want his voice to recover. I want him to stop talking and have his voice get better, so that you guys can get your videos up, because I'm looking forward to some of those lore ones that he's talking about.
Well, we got some neat stuff coming up. We're working on some merchandise stuff this morning, so we're hopefully going to have the Amber Turd sheet coming.
Oh my!
And we're working on the calendar for the Toxic Femmes.
So that's amazing. I love that. It's going to be incredible. Well,
and we got a Dune shirt coming up too. So yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. So I'll probably end up with the Dune shirt. I don't know about the sheets.
Pretty cool looking shirt.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll put the sheets on the guest bed. Anyway, let's see. Louvriane Makara says, still never seen Jokebusters 2016. Never will. A lot of people have that. Wokebusters 2016 opinions. Spelling helps communicating. That's true. Matrix 4 is day and date streaming too. Yeah, I'm not going to the theaters to see that. I'm not going to give them an extra $1.
That's still coming out this year, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Song will be good with Spider-Man, especially I heard the Eternals features Identity P in one scene, which we knew that Bounding into Comics made a video, which Feige already pointed where it was going.
Well, I've been saying this shit for a year. Yeah. I knew a little bit about it. I knew the new deal was in place. Yeah. Right now, they're negotiating Tom's new contract.
Right.
and he wants 20 million, and I bet they give the kid.
Oh, they're going to give him 20 million for sure.
Yeah,
no
matter what you think about this Spider-Man, I mean, he's a great actor. He does a good job with the role.
Those are true statements, but
I get it. How some people have issues, but look at it this way: the more movies he signs on for, the more we get to see him grow into Spider-Man.
That's true.
And I think that we're going to see a lot of that in this third film. I think that's why another reason why they're bringing in all these Spider-Men is to kind of get him to learn to grow into his own. Like he's going to learn a lot, I think, from Tobey's Spider-Man.
I really hope so, because Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's still. But Darth Astor's here. We got Mr. Dragon with a question. Question is if studios are getting back to normal, but how much damage was done due to their lecture moments? A lot.
They're not out of the cellar yet.
No.
And I've already warned people there's going to be the big That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
You're going to get a kickback like a motherfucker. We're going to think we lost because they're going to double down on everything they can because they're going to know things are at the end.
Well, and they've also been exposed. I mean, with films like Venom and obviously the recrafting
and everything else. Yeah. It's all getting exposed, so it's going to take some time. There's going to be the last gasp, and they're going to try and destroy something else, maybe a few things, just to try and get back at us and make us think that we're losing. But at that point, then I think we know we've really kind of kicked.
Oh yeah. And I think we're overcoming a lot of that. And again, I mean, we're still 3 years down the road before we see really good stuff, but maybe 4. But that's just the way the production cycle works.
Well, I hope things like Dune help.
Yeah.
I mean, if Spider-Man does well and it's not overly woke, or they don't try to jump on some campaign there.
Yeah.
Because really, I wonder how bad they hurt Venom's numbers, because it possibly could have done better.
Are they? And again, I mean, the anti-marketing or the counter marketing, whatever you want to call it, doesn't work. And you told a big lie to the people, even though they aren't going to go see. I mean, honestly, the people they're telling the lies to aren't going to go see the film anyway. So, I mean, because we've seen they're not the ones that go and buy the stuff. They're not the ones that go see the stuff. They're on this crusade, and it doesn't produce good entertainment, and it doesn't produce money. And at the end of the day, the finance people are going to have to start paying attention to the money, because we're going to see some economic collapse. And
we need more jokers. We need some other things like that to really kind of kick it in motion, to where sooner or later the money people are just like, fuck all this shit. I don't care where you're getting all this other money from, because that's the answer to the question. I mean, where are they making money since they're not making money here? Well, they're getting interest money. They're getting money from special interest groups, from lobbyists, from other places, from these movements. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a lot of money flowing.
There's outside revenue coming into these film productions, and we know it. In fact, there's actually the government, our own government right now, is actually trying to influence not just television, but also some films with a marketing campaign around something that they want to try to mandate. And that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. And like Larry says, the woke are not paying customers. They're not, but those who are trying to appease the woke are, and they're not necessarily customers, but they're the ones who are shoving money into the productions, right? It's influence money.
That's all it is. And it's not. And here's the thing. The problem is when they bring out one of these celebrities who've now lost a lot of their power, you're not getting the impact that you would, the quote unquote influencers that they try to use to, promote this, that, or the other. So, Cat Sith, I agree with you. The Eternals will be a dull thud at the box office.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, T Neil 89 for $5. Thank you again, my friend. Says, oh wait, never mind. Yeah. Sorry, I actually just woke up and didn't read my notification. In any case, happy to see you guys. Well, we're glad you're here. I appreciate it.
I thought you were just goofing, but that's still pretty funny.
Yeah. No, I've done that before, where I'm like, wow, this is cool. I didn't know they were on this time. Of course, you're everywhere, Tom. So I never know. I mean, like if you tweet something out, I click on the link, and who knows. We're having massive thunderstorms right now in my neck of the woods. So if I disappear, I'll try to end the stream from my phone. But Andrew Garfield is still denying his involvement. He has been, Simon. That's true.
He might not be involved, but I doubt that, considering we got Electro or whatever.
Yeah. Larry says meat is earlier.
No, it's supposed to be on time tonight, but I got a shit ton of shit to do between then and now, so we'll see.
All right. Well, I may dip in on that one if there's a spot. But
I would hope so.
Yeah, I love hanging out with the crew. I missed you guys yesterday. Man, I was working. The girls were jailed for the bad movie. Yes, and they probably should stay there. Matrix 4? Nah, you're all right. That's right. I ain't seeing it. I ain't seeing it.
I'll watch it because it's free on HBO Max, but I would have never went to see it in the theater. I would not have wasted. Because I'm still trying to remember if I wasted my time going to see the third one. I think I did, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Monkey Jeebus. I think you're probably right. Spider Boy Larry says there's a lot of people that has trouble with that. If Eternals just breaks even, would it be a failure? Yes. Yeah, but it's not even gonna.
And that's the thing I wonder too, because I think it was more expensive than Shang-Chi.
It was really expensive to make. Really. I'm trying to get more real numbers when it comes to that.
No, they've been keeping those pretty close to the chest, and that's why I don't like being in disagreements with people over it, because it's like, you really are defending fake ass numbers, no matter which way you cut it. So you just might as well be safe to say, like, the bigger story here is that Shang-Chi is one of the lowest grossing Marvel films of all time, especially post Infinity/Endgame. You know what I mean? I mean, because you even had Ant-Man and Wasp in the middle of that all. So, yeah, I get it. I understand where people are coming from. I was not as big of a fan of the last film, but I still defend Homecoming because I still feel like people are missing. Like, they really throw a lot of shit at that movie. It's like, but yeah, he spends a good third of the movie without the costume and with the absence of Tony Stark being able to help him, and he actually saves the day on his own. So.
Yeah,
we were mentioning
the outside finances.
China.
There you go.
And Spider-Man's opening in China too, as far as I know. I don't know about the Eternals though, and we know Shang-Chi sure as fuck didn't.
Can't talk about these things. I'd love to. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is Keely Chow? Oh yeah, Keely Chow is here. Yeah. Saw that. Thanks. And Josiah Fitch is here. Yeah, Midnight's Edge in the morning, I meant. Yeah, I love Midnight's Edge in the morning. God, you guys were on fire yesterday. Thank you for that, by the way, because I listened to you the entire time.
Which is funny because a lot of times people say that we're on fire is the days I feel like we had some of our worst fucking shows.
Oh, man, it was so good. Of course, we both
felt like a horrible show yesterday.
Well, we suffered from the StreamYard weirdness, right? I mean, you guys.
Well, that's what I mean. Between all the tech problems and everything else, it's just like. And then the guest I thought we were going to have wasn't able to make it, so it was just kind of like, yeah.
I feel bad that I couldn't do it, but you guys have been listening to me work from the cars. That's
all right. We like it when you can make it, and we know other things come first, though.
Rob Altus, thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate your support. I appreciate everybody's support. You guys are the best.
Olivia and Emrakar asks about the IATSE strike. Nothing new other than it's probably likely. We don't really have an inside track on it like we did the writer's strike.
Yeah, today they're at the table. That's what I'm going to say on that. So they're talking today.
I will say this though. I was informed. Is this exclusive to you, Culture? It's a rumor. I was informed of a supposed huge meeting this last week that took place between some very powerful people and Paramount.
Oh boy.
About possibly selling some IPs.
Yeah.
And one name that came to the table up for Star Trek was Mickey.
Wow. You think so?
I will say that. All I know is that they were one of the plausible people that may have come to this alleged meeting, and there was a lot of lawyers involved. It wasn't just them, though. There was a lot of people there. This was like a big... I don't know if you heard anything about it, but...
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to see Star Trek. I don't think I'm going to see Star Trek do that.
Kind of not liquidating, but they're looking at selling some assets, and who knows, maybe even the studio.
Yeah.
That's kind of the rumor going around. Which I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. I would love to get my hands on Ninja Turtles, though. God damn it. But they probably won't sell Nick. So that's the thing. That was the thing that was going on a few weeks ago, we heard, was they were moving some IPs around.
Yes.
Because if you'll remember, there was the separation, then there was the reconnection, and then all of a sudden it was like, what the fuck are they doing? Are they doing the same thing they did years ago? What the fuck's going on? Because they started moving some things around.
Yep.
So you got to remember that there's certain things that are owned by Nickelodeon, certain things that are owned by CBS, and certain things that are owned by Paramount and MTV. So they're all under, and Comedy Central. So they're all under different kind of umbrellas, and they're moving some IPs around here and there. And yeah, so be curious to see what goes up for sale and who ends up owning what and what goes where. I don't think Disney will own Star Trek. I don't think they're interested in it.
No, I think Warner is a better fit.
Maybe, but I didn't hear about Warner being there.
Either Warner or Universal,
Universal plausibility for some fucking reason, Seth MacFarlane's name was thrown into the mix again, but I just don't believe him being a part of it. It does, but it doesn't. Like, everybody I've ever talked to who knows him personally has said he has zero interest in buying Star Trek. Like, that's just not something he wants to do. He already has way too much shit on his plate.
Well, considering the deal he signed, the first look deal he signed, he's got a lot on his plate. He does.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that whole thing about Universal buying Star Trek for him to play in wouldn't necessarily happen, but I didn't hear much about Universal being interested. Universal's name didn't really come up, but I heard there was some other big players there. Disney's the name that kept coming up, but I'm just like, I don't see what Paramount would have that Disney would be interested in that they could get their hands on. Because I don't see Nickelodeon parting with SpongeBob or Ninja Turtles or any of that shit. I just don't see it happening, especially for the kind of prices that anybody would pay for them right now. And Star Trek's the same thing. I just don't see anybody giving them, because I think I heard the number was just really high for Star Trek, and it's just like,
well, it's not worth $1 billion anymore, in my opinion. But hey, what do I know?
Well, that's just it. You got Star Wars, which sold for $4.5 billion. And granted, there is a lot of stuff that comes with Star Trek, but you'd have a hard time arguing with somebody that it's worth that much. There's no way it's worth that much. You'd be paying mostly for classic shit. Yeah,
that's all you're buying at that point, I think, is the catalog, because you making it is going to be, I mean, it's damaged goods. And this is a good question, Tom. Olivia Makara says maybe selling Trek is the only way they can shit can and company.
I love everybody, guys. I love you guys so much. And I keep telling everybody, I know we hate Kurtzman and it's destroying Star Trek, but they don't see that. They don't see Alex Kurtzman the way we do. I really wish they did. He is an ass kisser. He has his nose so deep between people's ass cheeks. We could talk shit on him all day long and they would never listen to us. It sucks, but it's true. Well, it's the same thing with like JJ and a lot of these guys. They don't see them the way we see these guys, right? Like, and I tried to get people to understand, like, from my knowledge of what we were hearing was Kurtzman was kind of slumming it on Star Trek. Like, he's doing them a fucking favor. That's the way they were kind of seeing shit.
Right.
Which is fucking sad. I know. And I know, Crease, you get it, but there's some people that just don't. And I hate it, because it's like, I fucking hate this guy too. But it's just like I tell people, I heard from not one, but two different places the same fucking story about J.J. Abrams. That the reason that Hamada wanted him to come over and work on DC is because he, quote, wanted J.J. to do for DC what he did for Star Trek, unquote. These are people who clearly don't get it. Like, that's the kind of people we're dealing with here. So, like, that's why I'm really quick to, when people ask, are these people really that dumb? Yes, they are really that dumb. And they just don't see it. I don't know how you couldn't. The numbers are there. Culture, I'm sure you scratch your head every day about it.
Yeah, I do. And I have been for a while. And the biggest problem is that I pay very close attention to the ratings and all the numbers that are associated with all of it. And I don't know. I mean, like, there's think about how much value has been lost in valuable IPs over the course of the last 5 years. It's just it's staggering.
Well, and that's
Staggering.
just why I have a hard time believing a lot of times when I hear Kurtzman's out the door, or Kathleen Kennedy's fired. It's the same kind of thing with Kathleen Kennedy. It's just like she could fuck Star Wars up so badly, and they're still not going to fire her. There's a lot more shit she could do than she's already done. That's the thing. I mean, Kevin Feige is almost on a little bit different kind of plateau, but again, I brought up the point the other day is the only thing that Kevin has to worry about is he's not done anything else, right? Like he's never made any other movies.
No.
So it's curious to see how much success he would have outside of Marvel. He may be bulletproof when it comes to that, but
I don't know. Bigfoot Phil says, remember when Disney got Doug? It sucked. Yes. Tom Connors, question for you. If Disney gets a hold of Star Trek, is it doomed? Yes. I guess is the question. Yeah, I think so too.
Unless, that's the thing. I hope Chapek is everything we think he is. Yeah. Like the friend, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing at this point. Yeah. With him. Like really, because I know he's not the kind of guy we really want to root for. But then again, he's kind of like
he's bad. He's good on one front and bad on many others. But
he's that overzealous sheriff that you don't want in times of peace, but you sure do fucking want in times of war. He's
the character that you don't like in Walking Dead, but he absolutely needs to be there, right? I don't know. But Monkey Jeebus, this is interesting, and knowing that you do some work in the area, people who work on the crew don't like JJ.
I'm not surprised. I hear the same thing about Kurtzman.
Yeah,
but that doesn't matter. He kisses the ass of the people above him, and as long as he doesn't rock the wrong boats, ain't nobody gonna say shit.
Speaking of that, I mean, this is one of those things. I mean, Lower Decks, if you saw some of the imagery that was floating around the interwebs and on a few people's streams recently, it's a trash sandwich.
They're doing that shit on purpose, guys.
Yeah.
Kurtzman said it.
Yeah.
They're doing it on purpose. They want to piss us off. Yeah. They want to drive us away.
Yeah, but it's that at the same time, they have nobody then.
They don't see it that way, though. No. This is where the stupidity comes in and this is where, because you've heard them say it, we don't want fans like you, because then the mentality is once we get rid of the old white males, then all these other people will think it's a safe place and they can come be fans now.
Yeah, and this is exactly Chapek, my friend. Is Monkey Jeebus says Chapek is about money and cutting costs. Yes, he's a retail guy. I'm going to keep driving that home. It would be as if they let Paul Pressler run the Disney company, which means they lack complete vision when it comes to anything creative. They don't see the value in theming. This guy is his mentality when it comes to theme parks and many other elements of the different divisions of the business that he just took over. This guy is like the Six Flags guy. I mean, he's not a Disney person. This is a Six Flags mentality. He's not good for many divisions, but it is what it is. Yeah. So sorry, I have some strong feelings on the guy. So.
No, and I understand why people dislike him. And again, he's a necessary evil. I think was pointed out in the chat by
yeah.
Can't remember who said it, but
Mecha J, it's right here.
Mecha J, there it is. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, and you're right. You're 100% right. Like again, I don't know how long I'd want this guy hanging around, but this is the kind of guy we need right now. Like we're at a really weird time, right? Like we've never been in a situation before like this, like where they are strategically trying to use these IPs to push propaganda. Like they aren't even denying it anymore.
No, it's a platform. I mean, that was 2 years ago now that they were on that Zoom call and said it's a platform. I'm like, well, it's lost, and it's been lost for a while. That's frustrating. And this is true, Crease. There's the Gina situation. It must be resolved first.
You mean Star Wars, but yeah. I mean, and look, guys, that's another thing is I don't think Gina's coming back.
No.
If there was ever an offer on the table, I don't think she'd take it. Even if it was from Favreau. She has way too many standards for that.
Yeah, I mean, and principles. I mean, that's a person of character.
Yeah,
person of character, and that's kind of what there isn't anymore, right? You know, the person of character stands up to stuff, and you know, the person of character doesn't separate themselves from people that were their friends because they have a slightly different opinion on one thing or another. Those are weak people. They have low character. You know, because high character individuals with you know, average or better than average self-esteem, they don't do that. And Hollywood's full of people with low character. So
absolutely,
it is what it is.
No, and I mean, honestly, I'm not so sure they ever would offer her place back. But if they did, it was that time where she posted that tweet or whatever that was like too little, too late kind of thing. That would have been it.
Yeah,
I bet you $5.
Yeah.
And I have not heard once from any reliable source that she has ever been offered or heard anything from Disney. So
not one word from reliable sources. That's for sure.
And I'm speaking personally. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying I personally have not spoke to anybody that I know that would be in the know. So that has said that she's gotten another offer.
And Monkey Jeebus, this is an accurate statement. Gina likes where she is. Hollywood is not a success. That's right. That's right.
Well, she probably sees a lot of the shit George Lucas did back in the day, and that's where he turned his back on Hollywood. You know?
Yeah. Man, I miss good Star Trek.
Well, and here's the thing. I know a lot of people are saying Star Trek is dead. I think Star Trek isn't dead so much as it's in stasis.
Yeah.
It just needs the right person to come along and reinvigorate it. Because at least with Star Trek, it's not built on the Skywalkers so much.
Right.
It's a bigger world. It's already been expanded. We can ignore this, last few years of garbage. It's plausible. I mean, even if they decide they want to keep it canon, they can still find ways around it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, you can keep it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But no, this lower decks thing, that's the lowest of lows. Like, we've reached a point where that's so far below the standards of Star Trek. I don't give a shit how
this is
parody it is or whatever.
And this is accurate not just for Star Wars, but for Trek as well now. I mean, if you were trying to recover the brand, Mr. Dragon, if Star Wars were to ever get better, it needs to rest itself, which is taking 5 or 10 year break. And look, as much as I want Gina to come back, but she's happy where she is. Yeah, I think everybody's kind of on board.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. Never say never, but like what Andre and I used to say about the Snyder Cut, the only way that's happening is under the right conditions.
Right.
And it's the same thing with Gina. Like, you have to basically think that everybody who's there now, sans maybe Favreau, has to be out the fucking door. Probably. And then and only then, with a completely change of regime, will she possibly come back. Like, that's the only possibility.
That would be a different thing. But then you still have the fallout of the commentary of Chapek at that the annual investor call.
Well, not just that, you have just the commentary period, right? Like, they've painted this woman in a light that is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they'll never be able to make up for that. And it was done by no-name people behind fucking emails and shit.
Yeah. Well,
nobody can be held responsible.
And the people that tried to make waves with their channel and their agenda, and they got shut down hard, and they called out for what they were, and it was they were also pointed to be, it intimately involved shills, and they disappeared, and we don't even talk about them anymore. And the Ripley folks is all I'm going to say. So.
Well, there's those people, and then there's the people that are embedded within Disney itself.
Oh no, absolutely, yeah.
And the ringleader, and I don't give a shit. He knows we know who he is.
Yeah, yeah. And it is what it is. I mean, that's just the way it is. And you're right, Monkey Jeebus, they aren't going to take a break. They need the toy sales. But there's not a lot of toy sales, Cat Sith,
some. I mean, here's the thing: like
classic figures.
Well, we got to remember, it's still Star Wars, right? It still sells. There's still that, even if you don't count kids and you don't count certain other things, you have that fan base of people that are just they will buy anything because it's fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Same thing with Star Trek.
Yeah. By the way, Batman, well, I love your avatar. I think that's awesome.
See, and that's the only fans they give a shit about, really. Like, because they know that they will be able to do anything to these characters and you will still be there.
They'll still consume.
They don't give a shit about us. They don't give a shit about the fans that actually are critical of anything. Because in that case, then they have to please us, right? Yeah. God forbid they actually have to do better. No, we're the ones that have to do better. See, it's right in their propaganda.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. If I get another Marvel character telling somebody to do better, I'm just out forever.
Well, and then another example is you had Melissa McCarthy going on, I don't understand why people are so harsh on fucking remakes and reboots and shit. It's like, seriously.
You're part of the problem, lady. You made the biggest piece of garbage in the history of man. And they're trying to turn it into this thing that it's all about this hate and toxicity. It's like, no. The reason I am so passionate about this, the reason I have a problem with what you're doing is because I am so much of a fan that I give a crap. Yeah.
Right. And I'm not trying to say anybody's more or less of a fan than me, but when you're somebody who's a fan that just blindly follows this stuff, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot just consume, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to turn all this shit into just,
You're not wrong. I mean,
well, that's where I've said that Disney has just basically destroyed the classics. They're not worth shit no more.
No, they've retroactively reduced the value of IPs for that they have remade. Now. Yeah, and that's the destruction of all of that. So hey, Nerium, good to see you.
So that's why they don't give a shit what they do. They are not paying nearly as much attention to us as you think they are. And even when they do, they don't give a shit. I just saw an article about Amber Turd. They know 2 million people signed a fucking thing to have her removed from Aquaman. Yeah. They know there's a social media movement to get her removed from basically Hollywood, period. Basically cancel her from Hollywood. Let's be real. Yeah. She could go flip burgers somewhere else, or go be in porn, right? Like nobody's stopping her. She could probably be pretty popular in porn, especially in certain circles.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like that's the thing is, and the people at Warner Brothers flat out said we don't care because it's not the right people. They didn't say that last part, but that's the indication because they give a shit when it's about Johnny, you know who. They give a shit when it's about certain other things, but that's because it's coming from the right people.
And that's the other problem here. And in Mecha J, you're right. They're called stans. They'll like any product companies put out and will go after anyone who has legitimate issues about said product. Exactly. Yeah. The stan culture is a real problem. And again, these are people, they align themselves. It's low character humans that do that. They engage in ad hominem attacks and all that other stuff. So usually, again, if you talk to somebody who's got a background in psychology, will tell you that they lack self-esteem or they have very low self-esteem, and their value comes out of the sense of belonging.
I'll do one better. Amber can make movies over at Hallmark. Nobody gives a shit.
That's true. She'd be a great movie of the week lady, right?
Look, and again, like I was kidding about the whole canceling thing, but no, I don't think that it's fair that Johnny Depp got the shaft and he got treated the way he did, and she is just getting away scot-free. I said the only fair thing would have been had Warner Brothers been like, all right, kids, you can't get along. Neither one of you are going to be in our movies until this shit's all fucking sorted out. Right? That would have been the fair thing to do, especially considering. But, like, we're not going to get down that road because I don't need you getting shut down.
No, and I have a couple things I want to brush over before we end the stream because we're only going to go a bit longer. Don't leave yet. We're still going, but there's a lot of people that go to the theme parks about the Disney price hike. Even some people that stream from the park. This one person said he didn't go one day because he didn't feel the magic in him. And you know what? A lot of people are waking up to the loss of magic. Again, it comes down to who's running it. I mean, right now, anything that's been touched by this new regime is soulless. And again, this all started with Chapek taking over parks, products, and experiences. Soullessness. And they cut the budget around anything that would put a soul back in things. So it is.
Well, and the movies are already soulless, so all he's going to do is just cut out the bullshit. And then once that's gone, hey.
Yeah. And Andy McCallum says, I think I'll rewatch old Star Trek.
That's what I've been doing.
That's what I do. That's what I do. Yeah, now I'm actually taking to heart what Brie Larson said. It wasn't made for you. You're right. So I take that to heart. I got plenty of media to watch. Good.
This is hilarious because in every generation prior to this, since the age of consumerism, our age group has been the demographic that they seem to give a shit about the most.
Yep.
And now it comes to be our turn, and what do? They turn their fucking backs on us.
Which is fine. Honestly, Tom, I got better stuff to spend my money on. I've got independent stuff to consume. I spend a lot of time when I'm not here on YouTube or and I'm not working, I spend a lot of time listening and watching other people on on YouTube or on other platforms that are making sense. So but it is what it is. And yeah, I don't know, Professor Anthrax. I have no idea. I can't explain that. Dragon Master's here. Aquaman 2 is going to flop hard, with the overall response from the audience saying they're not going to watch it with her in it. No?
I don't know about it flopping, but it would be funny as shit though if it doesn't do nearly as well as the first one, and they realize that's the problem.
I mean, 2 million people at 40. How much? 2 million people at what? $8 a pop. That's
basically the amount of people that bought Black Widow on Disney Plus.
Yeah. 160 million. That's dumb, man. Just dumb. Yeah, they're already killing the pox. It just became more noticeable now. Debud Martin, that might be true. Again, as somebody has had intimate involvement in theme parks for almost my entire life.
Got a super chat from Diego.
Yeah. I got to get Diego on this show sometime. Diego for 10 Peruvian Soul. Thank you, my friend.
Diego
says, Tom, did you see the new Super Smash clone with Nintendo characters that have the Ninja Turtles? What is interesting is they're using the design from the original cartoon.
No, I did not see it, and but I'm not surprised.
That's really cool.
Because as fucked up as things are over there at Nickelodeon and Paramount, they're at least not dumb enough to hold back the classic designs from being used and utilized. Because I'll tell you what, Playmates just re-released the original Turtles. I can't find them some bitches.
Nope.
They're harder than shit to get your hands on.
Gone. Yeah, because I went to spelunking at the Target, at the Walmart, at the local toy place, and nope.
Now they're still not completely overly priced online, but I'm still not gonna spend that goddamn much.
Nope. Yeah. Eric Rung Madsen says 90% of the 60,000 members of the IATSE, that's 53,411 people, turned out to vote. Of those who voted, 98% voted to authorize.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, and I reported that story on Monday in the 6 Minute Daily, and I'm not surprised. And I have a video coming out that asked some questions about this as well. That actually I was going to release it today, but I think I'm just going to post it tomorrow, so I'll just get it uploaded and done.
Monkey Jeebus says they suck, and assuming if they're the same exact ones that they released in the GameStop exclusive a few years back, those were really shitty quality compared to the originals. They were the same kind of model and make and everything, but the plastic they used was not of quality.
Yeah, classic Turtles are the only Turtles. The first film is still one of those things I love to watch. When
he says the new ones have bad quality control. Yeah, oh, grand.
Not good.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Turtles
yes, they are
a moneymaker.
I'll even argue that they're probably one of the biggest franchises Paramount has underneath SpongeBob, even bigger than Star Trek, but they don't know what to do with them. Well, instead, we got 3 fucking movies coming out in the next couple of years.
Wow.
We've got the animated Rise of TMNT movie. You got the animated Seth Rogen movie, and then you have the live action movie from what's his face from Saturday Night Live. I always mispronounce his name, but now I can't even think of his name. But yeah,
be interesting.
Not really. I think they're all going to suck.
Well. Let them strike. I think they would be doing us a favor right now. Yep, they are. They will. And again, it'll put more pressure on Hollywood to be profitable, which means they're not going to be able to did I skip something? Wait.
Did you miss
Larry,
one from
did I
Larry?
skip something? Did you shoot a super chat or something, or did I miss something?
Did he have a member chat?
Yeah, just a statement about men. Yeah, I didn't see. Is it? Let me double check. Did you guys send me member chats? Because
I did have my thing up, but I hadn't been paying attention. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't see any. The only I saw Rob Altus became a member, and then there's that. But
yeah, I got that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But no, I don't see one from Larry.
Well, maybe this is what Larry was talking about. Men have everything against them in legal and society concerning marriage. Well, in a lot of other places right now, modern society anyway. Yeah, Seth Roken Turtles. No, thank you. Trot says, "Night, folks. Good night, Trot. Take care."
D-Bud, I don't know if anybody wants to see me in a TMNT movie, but I would definitely love to write and direct one. Anyway, you were saying about Eric?
Oh, it's gone. I don't care. I mean,
Mads Mikkelsen is already. I heard there's been a lot of people joking about this shit.
Yeah. Aluvrian and Makari. Yeah. Seth Rogen Turtles. No, yeah.
Because he wants to concentrate on the teenage aspect of them.
Okay. No, Larry. I don't mind. Doesn't matter. Oh, okay. No worries, bro. That must have been the comment, so it's fine. I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of the chat, which has been a pain. I'm really bad at keeping up with you guys. You're really chatting away, so I appreciate that. And we like to interact with you. Well, real quickly, I wanted to bring up the Bond thing because you and I were real close, but we weren't exactly right. It brought in 119.1. Yep. Yeah, so it did pretty good.
Not bad at all.
We'll have to see where it finishes out. I think it's going to finish out pretty well. In a follow-up of something that I've been talking about quite a bit, and I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, Tom. Let me see if I can pull it up. The Aussie media story. Have you been following that at all?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, they're in a lot of trouble for financial misstatements that have been made to investors, and it actually got real today. And in the story that I'm going to bring up here, there it is. Finally, here we go. Embattled Aussie media. Oops. That's not the right. This is it. Is hit with the first lawsuit over faked fundraising call. And we're going to go to the original source because I don't like how this looks. Let's clean that up a little bit. There we go. All right, from Deadline. In the first of what may well become a string of lawsuits, it probably will, against embattled Aussie media, a fund manager that invested in the site accused it of fraud and asked for compensatory and punitive damages in a jury trial. Wow. Lifeline Legacy Holdings of Beverly Hills, California, which put more than $2 million into the company, co-founded and led by Carlos Watson, claimed in a lawsuit that Aussie had engaged in fraudulent, deceptive, and illegal conduct when the firm was considering early this year whether or not to invest. The suit filed in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, where Aussie Media is based, is the latest shoe to drop in an unfolding scandal triggered by a New York Times story last Monday and revealed Aussie Media co-founder Samir Rao had impersonated a YouTube executive on a call with bankers from Goldman Sachs last February in the middle of a potential fundraise. Watson, who says he was not on the call, attributed the event to a mental health issue of his fellow executive. But the purpose of the impersonation may have been to assure potential investor Goldman that Aussie produced videos were successful on the giant video sharing platform. So Lifeline said that if it had known the foregoing facts of the call, it would never have invested in Aussie Media. Holy cow. In 2021, based upon direct assurances concerning Aussie Media's strong business performance, investments by high profile institutional investors, high viewer metric, and competent and honest company management, Lifeline agreed to invest in Aussie Media. At the time that Lifeline's investments were solicited and made, Aussie Media, and more specifically Samir Rao, knew that, in fact, the representations made to Lifeline regarding Aussie Media were untrue and that Rao had failed to disclose material information about Aussie Media Lifeline, blah, blah, blah. This is a big deal. It's like there's certain scandals that aren't going away. This one, Aussie Media, the Facebook stuff that's been happening every single day. There are certain things that are, I don't know. It's insane. So the background on this is that
you're usually the guy I go to for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know, but Samir did impersonate an executive with Google, YouTube, and if somebody on the Goldman Sachs call hadn't reached out directly to the person's assistant, secretary, whatever you want, reception person, whatever, they would never have known that this actually happened. And I believe this happens more often than we even realize with some of these things. So, I don't know. It's scary. I mean, they at one point in time, Carlos Watson himself misrepresented that the like Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne were investors in the company. Which they weren't. They tried to compensate them with shares at one point in time because the Osborne family was suing Aussie Media for holding an Ozfest, which you can't do. They call it Aussie.
Now I kind of vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they tried to offer shares, but the Sharon would not accept them. So I mean, you have all of these things happening, and let's be clear. This is fraud, and it's not the first time. In fact, there's a story that came out last week with Aussie Media that they essentially were setting up one of their festivals, and it was about to become the latest version of the Fire Festival. You remember that thing that fell apart? There were 2 documentaries made on it. They were about to have their own, and had they not had the good fortune of being able to cancel it because of an event that occurred that would have made the event impossible, they wouldn't have been okay. They actually got money from an insurance claim because they had to cancel the event. So it's just insane. And Monkey Jeebus is right. Aussie Media schemes and scams. It is. I mean, they overestimated their viewers. They or misstated them to the tune of sometimes 2 million views a month and stuff. It's insane. Let's see. I'm not sure if it's a Ponzi directly, but it is. I mean, this is a house built on a cloud. Let's put it that way. The foundation is fictitious, is what it sounds like. So yeah, Ozfest without Ozzy, lame. Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, they were screwing that up. Ricky Nelson was the lawyer. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, real genius. Where's the laser, Jerry? Fraud is a felony. Gosh, yes, that's such a great line. That movie's amazing. Yeah, Sharon's pretty bright when it comes to business. There's no doubt about it. Hey, Tina. Yeah, they've been around for a bit. They've been sketchy for a long time. Yeah. This is an ongoing thing, guys. I mean, and Aussie's not this Aussie Media, however you want to pronounce it. This is not the only one that has been doing this, misstating stuff. And we're starting to see more and more investment fraud cases show up, and you're going to see more and more of them. The entertainment business is rife with manipulations and misstatements. And when you talk to investors, that's a problem. And that's one of the things I think Chapek could get himself in trouble for because he's made some misstatements, let's say. So, but it is what it is. Oddfest. What's up, Frankie Knows? Frankie. Yeah. Uzi Media. Maybe. Yeah. Samir Rao will disappear to India. I have no idea, but the dude's gone right now. He's seeking mental health help. I believe. So, Real Genius DVD is $38. Holy cow!
Jesus,
that's way too high.
Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
I smile whenever I hear about the Fire Festival, the best party that never happened. Absolutely. Yeah, the SEC is very busy right now. Yeah, no, not the athletic conference. No, yeah, Securities Exchange Commission is very busy. There's a lot to investigate at the moment. Consider this: Facebook lost 5% of its value yesterday because of all these scandals. Plus, on top of that, the outage. They lost a lot of money yesterday. They make a surprising amount of money every single day. So it's amazing. Ozzy died when he left Black Sabbath. I don't need some. I still appreciate some of the Ozzy stuff, but I understand where you're coming from. All right. Well, here's I don't know, Tom. Is there anything else you wanted to cover or no?
No, I got way too much shit to do and not enough time to do it in. So yeah, I don't even know what we're talking about yet tonight on Mead. So.
Oh, all right. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring you up, and you can tell everybody what you've got going on, and then we will round out. I want to say thank you to those of you in the audience. I really appreciate all of you coming. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Those of you who did that, thank you for being members of the channel. If you're a member, thank you for being a subscriber. If you're a subscriber, I appreciate every single one of you, and I love being able to interact with you. Tom, what do you got going on, my friend?
Just the usual stuff. Midnight in the morning, Mead in the afternoon. Tuesdays with you, Fridays on FNT. Sometimes drop in Thursdays on Comics Division. Otherwise, just we try to do karaoke on sometime during the weekend. We have the script reads when we can do them on Sundays. I try to hop into Doomcock on Sundays sometimes too when I'm available.
Right.
I think I'm doing something this Sunday though with Lorena about Creature of the Black Lagoon. Still working on my album, getting things moving along there. So hopefully that's out before the end of the year.
Oh, I got to hear your new song.
Yeah, we can probably play that sometime.
Yeah, we don't have to do it now. I'm just saying
we can. It's like 5 minutes long, but.
Oh no, yeah. So go listen to Tom's new song, guys.
Well, it's not out yet.
Oh,
I played it last night on Mead Radio, but yeah, I've got a couple of new songs done. I got like 3/4 of the album done, or something. Like 2/4 not quite. I don't know. Not quite half of the album done. Whatever.
Yeah, we'll have to look it over. That's for sure.
So anyway, to play it.
Well, I mean, okay. I mean, I'm fine with it, man. If you want to share it,
we can play a few minutes of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't know how well it's going to sound through here, but
all right. Well, we'll see.
Let's see.
Where Tom isn't takes less time to describe. That's actually probably true. Accidental Taurus.
True.
Mead is informative as well as fun. Yeah, the afternoon show is always a blast. So, Neon Cow Pie.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll play the whole song. But... Here we go.
All right, I'm pulling it up.
I'm your hustler.
Got a laser pistol on my hip, a laser pistol on my right. You want one? Here's a tip, don't fuck with me tonight. You wanted your revenge and all you got was a bitter end. You wound up eating dust. What was it worth? All the fuss. I'm a neon cowboy, yes indeed, and I'm a riding into town on my heavy metal steed, yeah. Well, I smoke a lot of bandits and I smoke a lot of weed, and you ain't seen nothing like me. You ain't never seen. Well, you're so damn petty, you thought you could school me. Well, you just learned lesson 101, don't test my patience, son. Got no time for your bullshit or throw in a fit. Get the fuck out of here with that sword. This laser pistol ain't no toy. I'm a neon cowboy, yes indeed, and I'm a riding into town. I'm a heavy metal steed, yeah. Well, I fuck a lot of bitches and I smoke a lot of weed, and you ain't seen a motherfucker like me. You ain't never seen a motherfucker like me.
Why, you look like somebody just walked on your grave.
Well, I'm a neon cowboy, yes indeed, and I'm a riding into town. I'm a heavy metal steed, yeah. Well, I fuck a lot of bitches and I smoke a lot of weed, and you ain't seen a motherfucker like me. Yeah, it's kind of the same. There's another verse, but yeah.
Man, that's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing it, brother. Thanks for sharing it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. You got a little preview of that, and looking forward to getting it in reality in real space, and all of that. So thank everybody out there. As once again, I'm going to end the show the same way I always do, and couldn't have asked for a better musical outro. That's for sure. I'm going. Well, I mean, you put a lot of time and effort into those things. From the animation stuff that you do with Bat Tom.
Six says I stopped it before the best verse.
Oh, all right. Well, I have to say I very much value what you do, Tom, and I think a lot of other people do.
Well, thank you. I hope everybody liked it. So
yeah, and I feel like we got to get out of here. So I want to say thank you to the 37 people that hung out for the majority of, if not the entire show, and the over 56 people that were here at one point in time. Thanks for all your support. Everybody have a great day. Be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time,
wash your stinky ass.
Bye.